नमस्सर्वेभ्यः। व्योम-संस्कृत-पाठशालायाः कौशलसंवर्धनं संस्कृतव्याकरणं निबन्धलेखनं च इत्यस्य प्रक्रमस्य अद्य 47 पाठः। अद्य वयं बहुव्रीहिसमासस्य अवशिष्टान् प्रभेदान् ज्ञातुं प्रयतामहे। गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोर्मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। अस्माभिः गतपाठे बहुव्रीहिसमासस्य अध्ययनम् आरब्धम्। बहुव्रीहिसमासस्य मुख्यं लक्षणं भवति अन्यपदार्थप्राधान्यम्. So that is the single most important attribute of Bahuvreehi, which is common to all types of Bahuvreehi, where the Samastapada indicates something other than the actual words involved. तत्र बहुव्रीहिसमासे सप्त प्रभेदाः अस्माभिः अवलोकिताः। द्विपद बहुव्रीहिः तत्र यत्र समासे द्वे पदे भवतः पूर्वपदम् उत्तरपदम् अन्येषु समासेषु सामान्येन पदद्वयमेव भवति, किन्तु बहुव्रीहौ कदाचित् अधिकानि अपि पदानि भवितुमर्हन्ति इत्यतः द्विपदबहुव्रीहिः बहुपदबहुव्रीहिः इति विभागः क्रियते। द्विपदबहुव्रीहौ पदद्वयं भवति, पूर्वपदम् उत्तरपदं च समानाधिकरणे भवतः इत्यपि तत्र विशेषः। उभयम् अपि प्रथमान्तं. So समानाधिकरण refers to both words referring to the same object and therefore being in the same vibhakti. So being in the same vibhakti is one way of identifying samanadhikaranya. So if both words are indicating a same object, they have to be in the same vibhakti. That is how it works. So in this case, both the words will be prathama. Mostly, we saw also some cases where, rare cases where there is vyadhikarana bahuvreehi. That is, one of the words can be in a different vibhakti, which happens to be usually saptami vibhakti. Okay. अपि च विग्रहवाक्ये अन्यपदार्थं बोधयितुं यत् शब्दः प्रयुज्यते. That yat indicates the sambandha or the relation between the anya padartha and the padarthas which actually take part in the samasa. So saha, because it indicates some other object, it has to be in a vibhakti which is different from prathama. Yadi samasyamanani padani prathamantani bhavanti, तर्हि अन्यपदार्थस्य अनेन पदेन सह सम्बन्धः अन्यया कयाचित् विभक्त्या बोधनीया भवति. Therefore, we get यं सह or येन सह, यस्मै सह, यस्मात् सह, यस्य सह, यस्मिन् सह, द्वितीयातः आरभ्य सप्तमी पर्यन्तम् अन्यपदार्थस्य भानं भवति. अतः यत् शब्दः अपि द्वितीयातः सप्तमी पर्यन्तं कस्याञ्चित् विभक्तौ भवितुम् अर्हति. Then we also saw बहुव्रीहिसमासः प्रायेण लिङ्गत्रये भवति इत्यपि अस्माभिः दृष्टं. बहुव्रीहि being visheshana, right? So anyapadartha, it can be in any linga depending on the linga of the visheshya or the anyapada. Yatha pitaksheeraha, pitaksheera, pitaksheeram. So pitam ksheeram yena saha pitaksheeraha, yaya sa pitaksheera, yena tat pitaksheeram iti lingatraye api bhavati. पूर्वपदे पूर्वपदं स्त्रीवाचकं विशेष्यनिघ्नम् अस्ति चेत् पुंवद्भावः भवति. So if the purvapada is a sundari bharya yasya saha, it is transformed into sundara bharyaha. Buddhimati becomes buddhimat, etc. Mahat shabdasya atvam bhavati, mahabalaha, mahavidyah ityadishu. उत्तरपदं स्त्रीलिङ्गम् अस्ति चेत् विशिष्य आकारान्तम् अस्ति चेत् तत्र ह्रस्वः भवति. सो प्राप्तविद्यः, प्राप्ता विद्या येन सह प्राप्तविद्यः. मग्ना नौका यस्मिन् सह मग्ननौकः इत्यादि. इदानीं वयं बहुव्रीहिसमासस्य अन्यान् प्रभेदान् किञ्चित् पश्यामः. So the other types are all actually not very common, except maybe saha purvapada bahuvreehi. Others are not very common. The second type is called bahupada bahuvreehi. So very evident, where the samasa has more than two components. If it has two components, we call it dvipada bahuvreehi. If it has more than two components, we call it bahupada bahuvreehi. नीलोज्ज्वलवपुः पातु श्रीमत् पीताम्बरो हरिः अस्य प्रसादात् कुब्जाभूत् दिव्यसुन्दरविग्रहा. This is the shloka which illustrates bahupada bahuvreehi. So, नीलोज्ज्वलवपुः श्रीमत् पीताम्बरः हरिः पातु. Asman is adhyahara. Asya prasadat kubja divya sundara vigraha abhut. This is the anmaya. So atra neelojjvala vapuhu shrimat pitambaraha iti harehe visheshanadvayam. Divya sundara vigraha iti kubjayaha visheshanam. So neelojjvala vapuhu. नीलमेघश्यामलः श्रीमत्पीताम्बरः पीताम्बरधारी च हरिः कृष्णः अथवा महाविष्णुः अस्मान् रक्षतु. यस्य प्रसादात्, यस्य अनुग्रहेण कुब्जा दिव्यसुन्दरविग्रह अभूत्. So this refers to an incident in the Bhagavata. यदा कृष्णः गोकुलात् कंसस्य हननार्थं मथुरां प्रति आगच्छति, तत्र काचित् कुब्जा. He meets a woman who is deformed. She is a hunchback. Her back is bent and she is actually called Trikubja. So in three places. So the back, the neck and the legs are all bent or deformed. So she was in the service of Kamsa. She used to provide fragrances, so various kinds of scents to Kamsa. So Krishna meets her and he asks Kubja to give him whatever she was carrying for Kamsa. She hesitates a bit, but then she is enchanted by Krishna and she gives him. And when Krishna just holds her and lifts her up, all her deformity is gone and she becomes extremely beautiful. That is the story. So, Nilojjvala Vapuhu Srimat Pitambaraha Harihi. Hari or Krishna, who has a glowing and dark body, and Srimat Pitambaraha, wearing a Pitam Ambaram. That is a yellow cloth. Krishna or Vishnu is characteristically associated with yellow cloth. And Srimat, that which is very beautiful. Srimat indicates a lot of things, glorious, auspicious, beautiful, etc. So such Hari, Asya Prasadat, by whose grace, Kubja. Kubja literally means a very short woman or a bent woman. So Sa Kubja, Divya Sundara Vigraha Abhut. So became the one possessing a divine and beautiful form or body. Saha asya shlokasya arthaha. So, Neelam Ujjvalam Vapuhu Yasya Saha. Neelojjvala Vapuhu Ityatra Padatrayam Asti. Neelam Ujjvalam Vapuhu. So, Vapuhu Sakaranta Shabdaha, Vapuhu Shariram Ityarthaha. Kidrisham Shariram, Neelam Ujjvalam Cha. So, there are two Visheshanas added to the body, which is Neela. Neela is dark, like the cloud. And Ujjvala. Ujjvala is shining or luminous, bright. Okay, it's not a dull color. Neela Ujjvala Vapuhu. Neelojjvala Vapuhu. Neelam Ujjvalam Vapuhu. Yasya Saha. So, Neelojjvala Vapuhu here does not refer to Krishna's body. It rather refers to Krishna himself. That is, he who has a dark, luminous body. Neelojjvala Vapuhu. Shrimat Pitambaraha. So, atrapi Shrimat Pitam Ambaram Yasya Saha. Ambaram ityasya atra visheshana dvayam diyate. Pitam, normally we see Pitambaraha, Pitam Ambaram Yasya Saha. Atra tu Shrimat Pitam Ambaram. So the cloth is not only yellow, it is also Shrimat. That is very glorious. So bright, beautiful, and auspicious. All that Shri is a term which encompasses a lot of things. All that together, Shrimat, Shrihi Asya Asti iti Shrimat. So, Shrimat Pitam Ambaram Yasya Saha, Shrimat Pitambaraha. So, atra padatrayam asti. Shrimat Pita Ambara. Similarly, Divyaha Sundaraha Vigrahaha Yasyaha Sa. Divya Sundara Vigraha is a Visheshana to Kubja. So, Yasyaha Vigrahaha. Vigrahaha Vapuhu Gatram Dehaha, whose body or whose form is Divya. Divya is divine, and Sundara, very beautiful. So, due to Krishna's grace, her body from its deformed state was transformed into divine, beautiful body. So, Divya Sundara Vigraha is a Visheshana to the Kubja. Atrapi padatrayam asti. Divyaha Sundaraha Vigrahaha Yasyaha Sa. Okay. So, such examples are called Bahuvreehisamaasa. Anyaha kopi visheshaha nasti. It is very, very similar to normal Bahuvreehi. In normal Bahuvreehi, there is one Visheshana. Here, there are two Visheshanas. Both of them need not be Visheshanas technically always. So, we will see a few examples. There are two words which are related to a third word. Okay. Sarvani padani atra prathama vibhaktau bhavanti. All other rules are similar to Dvipada Bahuvreehi. Okay. So, So there are a few people who ask, can we do this in 2 steps? That is, first we just take the 2 Visheshanas together. Okay. So for example, Neelam cha tat ujvalam cha neelojvalam, which becomes a Visheshana Ubhayapada Karmadharaya Samasa. Then Neelojvalam Vapuhu Yasya Saha Neelojvala Vapuhu. That is also okay. Okay, so it is fine. But since the rule for Bahuvreehi allows us to combine more than one, the sutra itself says Anekam Anyapadarthe. So Anekam Subantam. Normally in other samasas, multiple words are not allowed at all. But in Bahuvreehi, the sutra does allow us to combine multiple words. Therefore, we can make use of it and do it in a single step. It will not have an effect on the final form. You will still get the same form. And the final samasa is still Bahuvreehisamasa, right? So it will not affect anything else. You can do it in 2 steps, nothing wrong. So you can do Karmadharaya and then do Bahuvreehi. But it is possible to combine them directly in Bahuvreehi in such cases. Okay. There is also one question which says this shloka is not there in the book. In the initial version which we had uploaded, this verse was missing. But in the revised version, this was added. So if you had downloaded an older version, please write down the shloka, or if you have not yet taken a printout, you can download a revised version of the book. Panchagavadhanaha vipraha. Okay. So this is one case where we see 3 words. Shubhalakshmi.
Panchaha gavaha.
Gavaha. Pancha gavaha.
Pancha gavaha. Panchaha gavaha.
No, pancha. Pancha is just pancha. Panchan shabdaha pancha ityeva rupam.
Yasya saha.
Kim pancha gavaha.
Pancha gavaha. Danaha.
Dhanam.
Acha.
Pancha gavaha dhanam yasya saha.
Yasya saha.
So all 3 words you have to put in Prathama Vibhakti. Pancha is always plural because 5 gavaha is also plural. Dhanam is wealth. Kaha arthaha? Yasya brahmanasya pancha gavaha eva dhanam. So he has as his wealth 5 cows. That is, he does not have land, he does not have any house or anything else. So his wealth consists of 5 cows. So pancha gavaha dhanam yasya saha. Okay. So as I said in that rule, when I said 2 are Visheshanas, need not be technically Visheshanas. So as we saw in Karmadharaya, it can be in the form of Upamana, Upameya also. So here, the cow itself is considered as wealth. And how many cows? Pancha. So Pancha is a Visheshana to cow, and the cow is considered as the Dhana or the wealth. So finally, all these 3 are Samanadhikarana. Pancha Gavaha Dhanam Yasya Saha Pancha Gavadhanaha. There is a special thing in this also, which we are not seeing at this stage. But if we look at the Pratipadikas, so Panchan is the Pratipadika for Pancha, Nakaranta Shabda, Nakaranta, Nitya Bahuvachananta. For Gavaha, the Pratipadika is Go. Okay. Panchan, Go, and Dhana. Okay. So here Nakara is deleted. Pancha Go Dhana. So there is a special rule by this Go gets converted to Gava. In Dvigu Samasa also we saw Panchanam Gavam Samaharaha Pancha Gavam. So Go plus a, there is an akara which is added, which makes it gava. Okay. So that rule we do not need to specifically call out here, but the form, yadi vigraha diyate, pancha gavaha dhanam yasya saha, the form will not be pancha godhanaha, it will be pancha gavadhanaha. Okay. Purvashala priyaha vruddhaha. So they said, old man who likes to sit in the anterior portion of the room. That is, he has a favorite place, maybe a favorite chair there. So that is the word Panchashala Purvashala Priyaha. Lata Bhagini.
पूर्वा शाला प्रिया यस्य सः
पूर्वा शाला प्रिया यस्य सः पूर्वशाला प्रियः. सम्यक्. मृदु मनोहर स्वभावा नारी. Anime.
नमस्ते नमस्ते मृदु मनोहर स्वभावा मृदु मनोहर स्वभावा
Yasyaha sa, correct.
यस्या सा
Swabhava, which linga?
स्वभाव स्वभाव पुंलिंग
Swabhavaha.
स्वभाव
So the other two also in pullinga.
मृदु मनोहर स्वभाव
Mriduhu.
मृदुः मनोहरः
Mm.
स्वभावः यस्याः सा
Samyak. Mriduhu manoharaha swabhavaha yasyaha sa. Swabhava means nature, which is mridu, soft, and manoharaha, attractive. So she whose nature is soft and attractive. So here mridu and manohara are both adjectives to swabhava. Mridu manohara swabhava nari. Shri Ranjani Bhagini.
नमस्काराः क्रूर निर्हृदयोदं सैन्यं क्रूरः निर्हृदयः निर्दयः सैन्यं.
Not Sainya is not part of Samasa. Krura Nirdaya Yodha.
क्रूरः निर्दयः योद्धाः यस्याः साः.
What is Sainyam? Sainyam is Napumsaka.
सैन्यं नपुंसकलिङ्गम्. यस्य नपुंसकलिङ्गस्य विभक्तिः पुल्लिङ्गवत् भवति किल.
Satyam. So Yasya Tat. You have to end with Yasya Tat or Yasmin Tat. Okay, what is the first part now?
क्रूराणि क्रूराः. Krurani is also in Napumsakalingam.
See, for the first part, the linga is the linga of the Uttarapada. There are two lingas in Vigraha of Bahuvreehi. The Yat Shabda linga depends on the Anya Padartha. Whereas the linga here, say, the linga of the actual three words depends on the linga of the Uttarapada. Right? So, Mridu Manohara Swabhava. Swabhava is Pullinga. So, Mridu Manohara, all three are Pullinga. But finally, since we are saying Nari, Yasyaha Sa, Yat and Tat Shabda linga we have to take from the anya padartha, whereas the internal linga we take from the uttarapada. Now here yodha, what linga is yodha? Yodhaha.
Pullinga.
Yodhaha, because an army contains multiple yodhaha. Now
Krurah nirhridayaha.
nirdayaha.
Nirdayaha. Yasmin tat.
Kruraha nirdayaha yodhaha. All three words you have to bring it to the vigraha. Kruraha nirdayaha yodhaha yasmin tat. Right? So an army in which the warriors or the fighters are cruel and merciless. Nirdaya. Nirdaya means those who do not have any daya. Daya means compassion or mercy. So cruel and merciless. Both of these are visheshanas to yodhaha. Kruraha nirdayaha yodhaha yasmin tat. Okay.
Dhanyavadaha.
So always in Bahuvreehi, be careful about the linga in the Vigraha Vakya. There are two aspects to the linga. So there is one internal linga and one external linga. Even in Dvipada Bahuvreehi, also in Bahupada Bahuvreehi. So the external linga is the linga of the Anya Padartha. So Vipraha, so Saha, Vriddhaha, Saha, Nari is Sa, Sainyam is Tat. So Yat and Tat always same linga. So Yasya Saha, Yasya Sa, Yasmin Tat. So the linga, the external linga depends on the Anyapada. Whereas the internal linga, that is what linga are all the actual words taking part in the samasa. For that we have to look at the, if they are all visheshana visheshya, you have to look at the linga of the uttarapada. So priya, so purva shala priya. Mriduhu manoharaha svabhavaha. Kruraha nirdayaha yodhaha. So wherever it is visheshana visheshya, the linga will be decided by the linga of the last word. Okay. So we will go
Dhanyavadaha.
next one. Sharada.
Nirjita Bahushatru. Nirjita Bahushatru. Nirjita.
So just take Bahu and Shatru. How will we make the Vigraha? Many enemies.
Bahavaha.
Bahavaha.
Bahavaha. Shatravaha.
Bahavaha Shatravaha. So now add one more Visheshana.
Nirjita
Nirjitaha Bahavaha Shatravaha.
Nirjitaha Bahavaha Shatravaha. Yasya Saha Rupaha.
So by the king, the soldiers were, or the enemies were conquered.
Shatravaha. Rupaha Rupena.
So yena. Nirjitaha Bahavaha Shatravaha Yena Saha. So what does the word mean? Nirjitaha, conquered. Bahavaha, many. Shatravaha, enemies. Whereas when we say it is a king, so by the king, many enemies were conquered. So yena saha. Nirjitaha, bahavaha, shatravaha, येन सह.
येन सह.
Okay. Bahushatruhu nripaha. Samyak. So there are a few questions. Purva padam should be ekavachanam nama. It is not necessary. It depends on the meaning. For example, an army does not have a single warrior. It always have many warriors. Again, when I say bahu is already multiple. Whereas svabhava, nature is only one. So the vachana here depends on the meaning. So if the meaning can take ekavachana, it will be ekavachana. Otherwise, it will be bahuvachana. Okay. In yodha, is it yodha, yodharo, yodharaha? No. Yodhaha as akaranta pullinga is different. Yodhr as rikaranta pullinga is different. So yodha, yodharo, yodharaha is rikaranta shabda. Yodhaha, yodhav, yodhaha is a normal akaranta shabda. The word here is akaranta.
Excuse me, ma'am.
One. Sorry.
Samyaka. Mritumanohara Swabhavaha is given. Why it is not written Mritumanohara Swabhavaha?
Where the samastapada is it?
Because
it is referring to a woman. We are talking to an woman. So it has to be strilinga. A woman having soft and beautiful nature is Mridu Manohara Swabhava. If it is a man, it will be Mridu Manohara Swabhavaha. If it is a Napumsakalinga like Mitram, it will be Mridu Manohara Swabhavam. Similar to Dvipada Bahuvreehi, here also the Samasta Pada can be in any of the lingas. Okay. So next question, which multiple people are asking about the Purvashala. So see, there are two samasas, Purvashala. Purvam Shalayaha Purvashala. Okay, so there is a single room of which we are talking about the anterior part. That is the Prathama Tatpurusha Samasa we saw. So the eastern portion of the hall. Okay, whereas we can also have an eastern hall where there are multiple halls or rooms. So last week I think I mentioned a veranda, which is not the eastern or the anterior portion of the hall. It is the anterior hall or the room. That is a room which is in the anterior portion. So in Purvashala, there are two samasas possible. Okay. So we didn't discuss because this book doesn't take that. So the difference, there is a difference in meaning. Okay. Just one moment. Okay. So when we say Purva Shala means anterior room, whereas Purvam Shalayaha is anterior portion of the room. So when I say anterior room, it means there are many rooms. So one of them is anterior, one is posterior, one could be in the middle, of which we are talking about one room. Whereas Purvam Shalayaha means there is one room of which we are talking about the anterior portion. Both are possible. So Purva Shala is Visheshana Purvapada Karmadharayaha. Whereas Purvam Shalayaha is Prathama Tatpurushaha, or as we call it, Ekadeshi Samasaha. So in this context, we are using the Purva Shala, to whom the anterior room is dear. Okay. So Purva Shala Priya Yasya Saha. So Purva Shala here is, Purva is a Visheshana to Shala. That is, the room itself is anterior. It is not an anterior part of the room. Okay. So both are possible in this case. Okay. So here what we are using is Purva as a Visheshana to Shala, and this is deer. I hope that clarifies. Now here in Pancha Gavaha Dhanam Yasya Saha, so I think we discussed in Karmadharya also, Linga matching happens if it is a direct Visheshana Visheshya. In cases where we are doing Upamana Upameya, here it is not, Gavaha is not a Visheshana technically, right? So you are saying the cow itself is the wealth. Like we say, Tapodhanam, Tapaha eva dhanam, or Stri dhanam, Stri eva dhanam, or Godhanam, Gauhu eva dhanam. So in cases where we are operating with Upamana Upameya, Linga matching is not required, it is not possible. Yatra Visheshanam bhavati, Gauhu or Gauhu, you cannot change the linga to Napumsaka because Go Shabda is Pullinga or Napumsakalinga. It's not direct Visheshana, but it is Samanadhikarana through Rupaka Lankara. So we are saying the cows themselves are the wealth. So the linga or vachana matching happens for direct Visheshanas, not when we are doing it as Upamana Upameya. What is the difference between Nirjita and Jita? Not much difference. Upasargas need not always create a difference. Many times Vishati, Pravishati, almost the same. So Jita and Nirjita is both there. In all Bahupada Bahuvrihis, you can do it in 2 steps. You can do, the first 2 words first and then join with the 3rd word. So there are multiple questions regarding this, which is possible. You can do it if you want. Okay. So we will move ahead. I think there are a few more which will hopefully get answered in later classes. And also remember, there are some questions which are fairly advanced for this level. I will keep repeating. This is a beginner level course on samasas. So some of the questions can be answered only when we get into sutras. So there are specific rules which decide multiple things here. So especially with the placement of words, which should come first, which should come later. So all that we cannot learn at this level. You have to, there are multiple sutras depending on which we have to decide. So for now, what we are trying to do is learn a few common examples and learn to identify the pattern. So please excuse me if I don't answer all questions. Some of them we will learn at some later level. So we'll move on. Sankhyo-Bhaya-Pada-Bahuvreehi. The names should be pretty obvious by now. Sankhya Ubhaya-Pada. So a Bahuvreehisamasa in which both padas, that is the Purva Pada and Uttara Pada, are numbers. Kananesminnaho rajan dvitrairayasita janaihi labhyante panchasha nagaha ityuchurbalinah prabhum. Ahorajan asmin kanane dvitraihi janaihi ayasitaha panchashaha nagaha labhyante iti balinaha prabhum uchuhu. So there is a king who has gone to a forest for hunting, elephant hunting with his warriors. So usually there are some scouts who are sent ahead to spot the animals, and then there is a technique where they surround the animals and hunt. That is the common process of hunting. So Balinaha, a few strong soldiers of the king, that is, who went ahead as scouts, Prabhum Uchuhu, they come and report to the king, He Rajan, Asmin Mane, Katipayaihi Janaihi Trasitaha, Panchava Shadva Gajaha Labhyante. So we can get a few elephants in this forest. So Panchashaha, 5 or 6, which refers to not a specific number, could be 4, could be 7, close to 5 or 6. Dvitraihi janaihi ayasitaha. They have already been exhausted by a few people. That is, for catching elephants, it has to be a team of people. So already there are 2 or 3 people, a few people who have been trying to catch the elephant. Though the elephants have evaded capture, they are already exhausted. So they would be more easy to capture if we go in. So there are a few elephants and they are already exhausted. If we go in, we will be able to capture them. That is what they are trying to convey. So the words here, asmakam tu samasajnanartham dvitraihi panchashaha iti padani padadvayam atra asti. So dvau va trayaha va dvitraha. So dvi and tri, there are 2 words, both of them are sankhya. So sankhya ubhayapada, sankhyo-bhayapada bahuvreehi. Dvau va trayo va dvitraha. Literally it means 2 or 3. Panchava shadva. So it has to be shad because of just panchava shadva panchashaha. So means 5 or 6. That is a few. All of them are not specific numbers. Please. So panchava shadva panchashaha. Trayaha va chatvaraha va trichaturaha. 3 or 4, 5 or 6. So usually we have, it is a stylistic expression. Even in regional languages, we do that. Aidaru, Murnaku. Okay, so it is an indicator of an approximate number. Trichaturaha balakaha kridangane kridanti. So there are a few boys playing in the playground. You cannot translate this exactly in English because English does not really use this. We don't say there are 3, 4 boys playing. I mean, we do say maybe in Indian English, but that's not, they say there are a few or there are a couple. So couple, again, when I say a couple of boys, means a few boys. Right? So it is the same as 2 or 3. So it need not be exactly 2 when I say a couple of boys or a couple of girls. So it's generally 2. Couple is husband and wife. 2 is different. When we say a few, okay, that is the sense which is conveyed by this samasa. So atra purvapadam api sankhyaavachakam bhavati, uttarapadam api sankhyaavachakam bhavati, samasta padam akarantam akarantam va bhavati. This is very important because the sankhyaavachaka, they are of different endings. So dvi and tri are ikarantas, chatur is rephanta, from panchan, panchan, saptan, ashtan, navan, dashan, they are all nakarantas. Shash is shakaranta. Okay, so the numbers have different endings. But when we do this Bahuvreehisamasa, they all become, that is the samasta pada is always akaranta. Akarantameva bhavati pullingam napumsakalingam chet. Strilingam chet akaranta strilingam bhavati. That is the first point. And the samasta pada is always bahuvachananta. Okay. Because the minimum number we have is 3. Dvau va trayahava. So 2 or 3. So 3 is always plural. So the samasta pada is always plural. Okay. Samasta padam sarvada bahuvachanantam bhavati. Akarantam akarantam va bhavati. So, as I said, it does not indicate specific numbers, indicates approximate numbers. So, lingatraye api prayogaha bhavati. Okay. Udaharanartham, dvitraha chatraha adya nagataha. A few students, 2 or 3 students have not come today. Dvitraha naukaha samudre nimagnaha. A few ships, 2 or 3, sunk in the ocean. Dvitrani pustakani. So dvitra akaranta pullinga. Dvitra is akaranta strilinga. Dvitra is akaranta napumsakalinga shabda. Dvitrani pustakani maya avalokitani. I referred to a few books, 2 or 3 books. We can also use it in all vibhaktis, not only prathama. So, dvitreshu vishayeshu sandehaha santi. I have doubts in a few topics. Vishayaha is pullinga. So, dvitreshu vishayeshu. Dvitrasu kupishu jalam nayamaha. Kupi is bottle. So, we will take water in a few bottles. So, 2 or 3 bottles we will need to take. Dvitreshu dineshu vakshyami. So, I will let you know in a couple of days. So, dvitreshu dineshu. Panchashebhyaha deshebhyaha vidvamsaha agataha. Scholars have come from 5 or 6 countries. So, Panchami Vibhakti. Panchashabhyaha nadibhyaha jalam sangrihitam. So, water was collected from 5 or 6 rivers. Usually, when we do Abhisheka or especially Kumbha Abhisheka, they try to collect water from various rivers. So, Panchashabhyaha nadibhyaha. Panchashebhyaha varshebhyaha purvam dehalim gataman. So, he went to Delhi a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when we don't know the exact number. Panchashebhyaha varshebhyaha. So, evam lingatraye sarvasu vibhaktishu prayogaha bhavati. Pullinge napumsakalinge akarantam bhavati. Strilinge akarantam bhavati. So, always the Vigraha Vakya has a specific pattern. You have to tell the 2 numbers and va, va meaning or. So, that is the convention for writing the Vigraha. So, chatvaraha va panchava. Chatushpanchaha. So, va is added twice in the Vigraha Vakya. It is just a convention. So, please don't ask, can I write a single va? All Vigraha Vakyas, a specific convention is followed for writing, even for Dvandva. If you are making a sentence, you can say Ramaha Lakshmanaha cha with a single chakara. But when doing the Samasa Vigraha, we say Ramascha Lakshmanascha. That is purely conventional or rudhi, to make sure it's easier to learn if we stick to one pattern. So, in this Vigraha Vakya, va is used twice. There is no specific meaning. It just means 4 or 5. So, chatvaraha va panchava chatushpanchaha.
दश द्वादशाः दश वा दश वा द्वादश वा दश द्वादशाः
Dashava, dvadashava. Dasha and dvadasha. 10 or 12. So, dasha va dvadashava. Dasha dvadashaha. Bhagini.
Nava va dashava.
Nava va dashava. Navadashaha. Please remember, this is different from the number Navadasha. Okay, Navadasha is Nakaranta Shabda, so it will not be Navadashaha. That is Navacha, Dashacha, Navadasha is 9 plus 10, which is 19. That is a Nakaranta Shabda. The form is Navadasha. Whereas Navadashaha is an Akaranta Shabda. It means Navava Dashava, 9 or 10.
सप्ताष्टाः सप्त वा अष्ट वा
Sapta va ashtava, saptashtaha.
त्रया वा चत्वारः वा
You have Napumsakalinga. So,
चत्वारि वा
त्रीणि वा चत्वारि
त्रीणि
वा.
वा चत्वारि वा.
Correct. So, trichaturani, since it is in Napumsakalinga, त्रीणि वा चत्वारि वा trichaturani. 3 or 4 could be pustakani, dinani, whatever in Napumsakalinga. So, we will go to the next type. There's a question, the numbers need not be in order. Need not be in order, but they're usually close to each other. And the lower number is always first. Okay. So that is how it is used. It need not be that they are consecutive numbers, basically. You can say dashaikadashaha or dashadvadashaha. Okay. 10 or 12 is actually more common than 10 or 11. The next type is Sankhya Uttarapada Bahuvreehi. Sankhyottarapada Bahuvreehi. Yatra samase Uttarapadam Sankhya-vachakam bhavati. Brahmanah kativa rudrah vadattvamiti sankhya kushalastvekaya yuktya vadedupadasha iti. Brahmanah kati रुद्राः कति त्वं संख्यया वद इति पृष्टः कुशलः तु एकया युक्त्या उपदशाः इति वदेत्. ब्रह्माणः कति रुद्राश्च कति. There are two questions. One is how many Brahmans. Okay, Brahma is actually not one. So there are multiple Brahmas. And Rudrascha kati, multiple Rudras. So how many Brahmas and how many Rudras? So if somebody asks the question, you can either give the exact number. The actual exact number is 9 Brahmas
नव ब्रह्म
and Ekadasha
दश
Rudraha.
रुद्राः.
Nava Ekadasha. Rudras are Ekadasha, 11. And Brahmas are 9. Nava Brahmanaha Ekadasha Rudraha. So, when asked what is the number, a kushala, somebody skilled, he can tell Upadashaha. Upa means close. So, close to 10. So, 9 is also close to 10. 11 is also close to 10. So you can tell it with a single word as Upadashaha. But remember, that will not tell you what is the exact number. That is the unique nature of Bahuvreehi, that it will not tell you the exact number. It will tell you both of them are close to 10. Okay. अत्र दशानां समीपे ये सन्ति, those which are close to 10, they are called upadashaah. एकादशानां समीपे ये सन्ति, so upaikadashaah, close to 11. So we usually don't say close to 11 because we approximate when it is close to a round number. You can say upashataha, upasahasraha, etc. So, atra purvapadam upa, adura, asanna, adhika. These are the 4 words which are used in this samasa. Upa means close. Adura, not far. Again, it means close. Asanna is close. Okay. So all these words mean close to something. That is almost 100, almost 20. When we say that, that is the sense given by these three words. Adhika means more. So more than 100, more than 200. We use that often. So there were more than 100 people attending. So that is given by adhika. Uttarapadam tu sankhyavachakam bhavati. So sankhyottarapada bahuvreehi samasaha. So atrapi uttarapadam athava samastapadam akarantam akarantam va bhavati. So similar to the previous type, here also the samastapada is akaranta in pullinga napumsakalinga, akaranta in strilinga, always bahuvachananta. Okay. So this also does not indicate specific numbers but approximation. So atra abhyasam kurmaha अथवा अहमेव दर्शयामि यतोहि उदाहरणानि न दर्शितानि. So upavimshaah, vimshati is 20, vimshatehe samipe ye santi. So those which are close to 20, 18, 19, 21, anything can be described as upavimshaah, close to 20. Asanna shataha, close to 100. Shatasya asannaha, asanna shataha. Or asannam shatam yesham te. That is also two ways this vigraha is written, because shatasya asannaha sometimes appears as if it is tatpurusha, right? So we can maybe do that. But it is a Bahuvreehisamasa, okay, because of the specific rule. So close to 100. Asannam shatam yesham te is also correct. Or shatansya asannaha. It's okay. Remember always, Vigraha Vakya is just there to help us understand the meaning. So Vigraha Vakya need not be exact. There can be some variations. So it is basically a pattern which is followed to lead us to the samasa. The samasa is Bahuvreehi. Whether you write the meaning as Shatasya asannaha or asannam shatam yesham te, the samasa here will be Bahuvreehi samasa as asanna shataha. Adhika panchashaha. So atrapi panchashataha adhikaha. More than 50. Panchashat is 50. Panchashataha adhikaha becomes adhika panchashaha. Adura shataha. Shatat aduraha. Not far from 100. So the meaning is the same. Asanna shataha, upashataha, adura shataha. All of them mean the same, close to 100. Asanna sahasraha. So sahasrasya asannaha, asanna sahasraha. So again, all these also, for the exam, only the 1 or 2 words given in the book. They will not ask beyond it. Just showing a few more examples just for understanding. Okay. So we will, I think, stop here. There are 2 more types of Bahuvreehi. Digantarala Lakshana. Oh, no, 3 more. Digantarala Lakshana, Vyatihara Lakshana, and Sahapurvapada. So Agrima Pathe Vayam Tesham Prabhedanam Adhyayanam Kurmaha. Adhuna Mangalam Karomi Tataha Prashnas Santi Chet Vakshyami. गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोर्मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्